Welcome back, one and all, to the Invitational. Welcome to Round 3, Group 1. Group 1, of course, being the second group. That makes sense. In this portion of Angles Through Oblivion. Next up to try their very own Angles Through Oblivion is Group 3 here in Round 3, composed first of Misdirection, followed by Rusty, and closing out this trio, the Vanimal. We know, of course, that before anyone can face the course, they must first face that fickle assembly of wood and leftover RC parts that is the spinner. So here they are, arranged around the spinner, and we will see how the conditions of heat and humidity are affecting the spinner today. It's coming to a gradual halt here to determine that running first will be Rusty. That's a bit of a tough bake for Rusty, as we know what Gate 1 looks like. We'll remove him from the equation. That leaves just Misdirection and the Vanimal. We've got an unusual addition here, the wheel spinning counterclockwise. I believe that might be the first counterclockwise spin. And it looks like it's slowing down to land on the Vanimal. And it does. So the Vanimal running second, Misdirection will close out today's group. Round here, we don't waste no time because there's no time to waste. Rusty heading directly out onto the course. He is, of course, a TRX-45. That would be almost everything you need to make a TRX-4, only he's got axial AR-45 straight axles under him, which is going to be not an advantage here in Oblivion, particularly when Gate 1 is atop a ledge. So he's just hammering at it, and at this point, I don't think struck Gate 1. He's just kind of maneuvering around, but he authoritatively got it that way. And once again, the Bounty Hunters coming through to prove that we might be 98 millimeters tall, but we don't care. We don't even care that Rusty's front bumper is just a giant bar of steel. So he's through Gate 1 and now trying to get his belly up over onto Gate 2. A little sideways action there. See how he extricates himself from this. He's not going to be happy until he punches some gate markers around, which, I mean, it's understandable. So Rusty is going to take a wide line. I believe he's going to pass backwards through 3 here, so that doesn't explicitly count because Gate 2 hasn't been cleared. And I think he's just going to rush through. He's going to flip-flop his way through 2 there. Now, ordinarily, I think you would have to pass through 2 the other way. But I think some small allowances are being made. We've seen that reverse trick through 3 before, so take a loop around. Contestants have they've warmed to the idea that use as much of the flat terrain surrounding Oblivion as possible, because you can see the difficulties in navigating the terrain of Oblivion proper. See if Rusty can get lined up here. Opting to take a reverse. Hung up a little low. There's a good angle on that giant bar of a bumper there. I mean, up till here, he was doing really well there. I think that was a good approach angle. I think that could have turned out pretty well, and I think it turned out as well as possible, because if you're going to fall off the course, doing so without striking a marker or getting a rollover out of it, that's pretty good. So Rusty's coming around again. There are no time limits here. Rusty is going to take a fair bit of time. Finally achieves his goal of striking that gate. Makes his way up here. If he can get that rear axle clear. This, as has been mentioned in the past, Oblivion is a portal-friendly situation. So today's group has no portals. These are all straight-axled rigs. And it's not as if the straight-axled rigs that have run before have suffered excessively. It's more about overhangs, really. Like, if you've got full bumpers and a long body, and Rusty has both of those, things like this can happen where you just get mired in there. So he took a half reverse there, followed by a full one, so that gate strike does not count, as gate 5 was already dead at that point. Very good turning circle on the AR-45 straights. He lined himself up for that pretty nicely. Trying to swing it around, see if he'll need a reverse. Yes, just one application. Nice, slow, chunky servo in there. Really fits the Rusty aesthetic. Manages to get himself clear there, down through the finish line, and off into the sunset. His morning of running is complete. We will go directly into who the spinner chose to go second, which is the odd-sounding Vanimal. Vanimal, a Carisma Prairie Wolf with, well, it's got a fair bit done to it now. There's a whole LCG situation going on. We will see what the Vanimal does. Vanimal is taking a very Rusty approach, as very similar things. We've got full width bumpers, well, a low-hanging body. This will be a particularly non-ASMR portion of the episode, as most of the sounds of the Vanimal are Lexan catching on rocks, and it's cacophonous is the sound of the Vanimal. He somehow gets up the approach through gate 1 and is going to get very badly hung right there, and it's going to make a terrible it's unseemly is what it is. But the Vanimal makes do with what he has. He has the second smallest tires, has murdered gate 2, and takes a multi-flop down to the bottom. TRX-4s himself, and unfortunately when he cycloned himself loose, he went nose directly up against a rock, so it was reverse or go home. So I believe gate 2 is still live. Yes. So I guess it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know how the rules are being held for these fellows. Another extra reverse there to get through 3. I don't know if his point total reflects what I, as a specialist viewer, as a commentator, would consider a non-clearance of gate 2. Honestly, I'm sure the people in the scoring department make their decisions based on something that they don't keep me apprised of. So the Vanimal having a very similar issue to what Rusty saw here. You have to get very sideways, but not too sideways. And he has dropped the front wheel down as well. And so far he has not struck the gate. It looks like he's driving directly over it. Yes, I believe he drove directly atop that marker. Another good hang up there. So I'm fairly confident that will be recorded as a strike. Vanimal taking a slow approach here to move up towards 4. The first 2 competitors of the day having problems at 3 of the first 4 gates. Vanimal having to bump his way onto that little platform, which got him pretty well sideways. But a small application of reverse, and it looks like he got... Oh, Vanimal, please. That was abrupt. He's now fairly well stuck, and I can tell you, no spoilers, something far worse is about to occur. That was a dead gate. He has struck another dead gate. He's going to roll out. He's going to take a little swing off camera here. You know what we need? Tell this to the guys in the production department. They need more cameras, is what it is. I don't think we have enough angles. So here's where things go wrong. just let this play out. That's not good. So it's basically just treated as a rollover if you get to such a point as where, say, like your body gets stuck in your suspension. It's not in the spirit of the canyon to require rigs to run body clips. If they don't want to run body clips and run the risk of their bodies falling off, by all means don't run them. But I think that here in the near future, I think the next time we see the Vanimal out on the course, he's probably going to have some body pins in, because you might also notice there's another little special note which we'll show an angle of here shortly. That was not elegant by Vanimal, but he made it through. Here's a little something we'd like to point out. So sometime during that attempted Daphne maneuver where the Vanimal attempted to shuck his entire body, he converted to three-wheel drive temporarily. So this puts his future in the Invitational in jeopardy, as he is a Carisma product, and it is not easy to get Carisma parts. By the way, this is Misdirection, an elemented Capra heading out onto the course. So the Vanimal has hopes of continuing on, and we will search through what parts we have on hand. We've got extra universals and CVDs and stuff, and if we can get one to fit, if by any chance one fits, then the Vanimal will return to competition. If not, then we arrive at a crossroads. And I'll touch back on that in a moment. Well, I would like to point out that Misdirection had what we would call a bit of a casserole of an entry here into the first two gates. She cleared gate 1, and then Misdirection has just almost runs over live gate 3 there. The marker doesn't count. You can run over the flag as much as you want. So now she's just trying to get herself lined up to clear through 2. And it's not going remarkably well. She's getting stuck. She's rolling through things. She once again landed in such a way as to not strike gate 3. So at this point, I would like to point out, she has struck neither gate 2 nor gate 3, and she cleared gate 1. So she hasn't hit a gate yet, but she also hasn't successfully cleared a gate other than 1. That was a bit of Vanimal maneuver. But I would like to point out, Misdirection is smarter than some of the other rigs, as when she rolls off of Oblivion, every time she comes back in, she takes a different approach line, because she's not insane like some of the other rigs who just try the same thing over and over again, hoping that it will work this time. So I don't know if it was a combination of soft suspension. I don't know if it was a situation of the Scorpios just not being the perfect tire for the situation. I don't know what it was, but gate 2 was the all-powerful, ever-living bugbear of Misdirection's morning. And I honestly can't remember if... Nope, it wasn't this time that she got through it either. She's going to swing all the way around, and she's got to run at it again. She's using a lot of course here. Did she get it? I don't even know. Like I say, I don't get enough preview time on these things too. We're calling play-by-play and color at the same time. So we will see how her approach, how she handles gate 4. Others have had problems, but Misdirection is effectively a buggy, so it doesn't really look like she's having much of a problem with gate 4 at all. Nice little wheel hang there. Excellent flex. So gate 1, no real problem. Gate 2, fairly big problem. Gate 3, straight through. Gate 4, easily done. Here she is coming up to gate 5. Will that tire stay clear? That was a Daphne level of how close can I get. And now, with no bumpers, she can just power up through here. And the element axles have quite a lot of steering angle in them. Let's see if she needs to put any extra steer angle to get the swing to come down through 6. She's got a little belly hang there, and it might be fortuitous, and indeed it was. That was a turn akin to something made by someone with dig. And that completes the morning's runs for this third group, which leaves us nothing but the scores and a little bit of discussion about the fate of the Vanimal. So first, we will attack the scores, and the scorecard looks exactly like it did before. Rusty used 6 reverses, which is a lot. But he did only strike 2 gates, and along with those 2 gates, he recorded 0 rollovers. So he finishes out his group with a total of 26 points. Immediately behind Rusty was the Vanimal, who, if you were watching closely, used a lot of reverse. He reversed 12 times. And 12 reverses might be almost as bad as breaking a front axle, because with those 12 reverses, he struck 2 gates as well, and is struck with a rollover for when his body tried to fall off. So he finishes his round 3 run 48 points, which I'm just going to guess was improved upon by Misdirection, who is the last group of scores we have to look at. She used just 2 reverses, which is surprising. She drove around a lot, but only needed to reverse twice. Along with those 2 reverses, she apparently only struck 1 gate. I think it might have been 2, but they're saying it was 1. She did not roll over. She landed on her wheels every time, which gives her a round 3 total of just 11 points, which is a fair bit ahead of her 2 competitors. And there you have it, the winner of round 3's group 3, Misdirection. And all that's left now is to put those scores into the leaderboard and then give that final little minute of discussion on the fate of the Vanimal. So here we have the scores as they were run. Rusty with a fairly decent 26, Vanimal with a not-so-great 48, and Misdirection with an inarguably pretty darn good 11. Let's see how that puts them on the total leaderboard and how that's going to determine who ends up where. So we've run enough now. There's only 3 competitors remaining. So everyone whose name is in green is guaranteed to move on to round 4. Everyone in red is guaranteed to be in the elimination round, with a little asterisk should be next to the Vanimal. And Rusty is the only competitor in yellow because he sits on the bubble. If all 3 competitors in group 4 score fewer than 26 points, Rusty will be dropped into the elimination round. If just one of them scores below that, they will be in the elimination round. So it will be interesting to see how that shakes out. So there they sit, the people moving on, not a huge surprise. And now let's talk about the future of our good buddy, the Vanimal. So as we sit and look at this still image of the Vanimal from better times, we're presented with 3 possible outcomes. One is we can locate an axle, fix the Vanimal, and return him to 4-wheel drive, and everything will continue as normal. The second is that we cannot find that axle that fits. The Vanimal will automatically be eliminated, and therefore we don't know. I guess we just run an elimination round with just 3 and only 2 are eliminated. Or the other option is the Vanimal is replaced by Jake the Snake. That could be a thing. So that's how we do it here in the Invitational.